everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Hunter Parker, and I'm the acting teacher and theater director here at Hall High School. And on behalf of myself and my colleague and technical director, Mr. Bizzano, we'd like to welcome you to our live streaming play reading. Tonight, we join together with others from around the country on this 8th anniversary of the Sandy Hook shooting, which happened just about an hour up the road, to pay tribute to lives lost through gun violence every single day. I'd like to issue a warning that the content in these plays is mature and is real. Issues of gun violence, school shootings, and other sensitive subject matters do come up. We invite you to watch, to respond in whatever way you feel necessary, and if you'd like at the end to stay online and join us for a Q&A post-show discussion. One thing I'd like to point out, this is a staged reading, and due to the masks, you may be wondering who is speaking. So tonight, we've decided to use our hands to help signal that, since we are practicing social distancing and using masks. If you see the performers raise their hand up onto the microphone like this, that means they're speaking. You'll also hear a voice of a reader. The readers are narrating the stage directions written by young playwrights across the country. So we invite you to imagine that you are seeing these plays fully realized. Without further ado, I proudly present Hall High School's staged readings of Enough.
More than 200 Americans are shot and wounded every day.
100 more Americans are killed every day with guns.
8 of those killed every day are children and teens.
Earlier this year, #Enough called on teen writers to channel their fear and frustration, their anxiety and anger, and yes, their hope into 10-minute plays that tackled the issue of gun violence.
This is what they had to say.
Loaded Language by Elizabeth Shannon. Kirsa, Amira, JJ, Logan, and Will are all students at Trojan High School. Scene 1. A blank stage except for Kirsa, Amira, JJ, Logan, and Will, who are standing. Lights rise on each character when they speak their first line.
Before last year, our school basically let anyone in the front door. I mean, they still do, but they installed these security doors recently. So someone entering has to go to the front office before entering the rest of the school.
We all thought it was stupid. It made getting to class much harder.
And it wasn't like they were going to stop anyone.
Our school has a lot of doors. Doors by the theater, doors by the gym. Some kids prop them open so they can sneak out of school and come back later.
A shooter could enter from any number of those doors, totally undetected.
And even if the security doors did stop them from going immediately into the hallway, they could just shoot people in front of the office and then walk through.
The doors are pointless.
Not to mention, a lot of times school shooters are students. They just walk in with everyone else at the beginning of the day, no questions asked.
It would be so easy. I mean, don't call the cops, I'm not a shooter, but I could think of like a million ways to sneak a weapon in.
My teacher told me a story about this one kid who made a threat. And the police and principal showed up in my teacher's classroom on bulletproof vests, first block to take him out of school.
We don't have lunch periods here. We just have 1 hour of free time.
And there isn't enough space in the cafeteria, so people basically just eat wherever.
It's kind of gross, actually.
My friends sit at the front of the school, but I never stay there too long. The reason why is simple. If a shooter was going to come in, and lunch would be the perfect time to, we'd be the first ones dead.
I pick what classes I take partly based on where the rooms are located.
The choir room is connected to the stage. I take a lot of choir classes because, well, if someone comes in, there's a million places I could hide. I know them all. There's a catwalk, the dressing rooms, the backstage bathrooms no one knows about, and these giant prop and costume rooms with big steel doors.
The choir room even has its own exit of the building, right near the parking lot where I park my car.
You have the best chance of survival in that room.
Summon as much as possible.
One day, my dad was driving me to school. He was listening to a report about a school shooting that happened the day before. Why didn't he turn it off? I was sitting there on my way to school.
My mom told me once how she worries every time she drops me off. What if she doesn't see me again? Then she told me that she realized that her worrying probably doesn't even compare to how I feel walking to school every day. She was right.
I say goodbye to my parents, and it always crosses my mind that I might not see them again. I just shove that thought away.
I've planned what my last text will say in case something happens.
I was a 4th grader when Sandy Hook happened. That could have been me.
I was a freshman when Parkland happened. A lot of these kids killed their own age.
That
could have been me.
Scene 2, sudden shift. Bright lights reminiscent of the fluorescent school lighting rise on a school classroom a few minutes before class lets out. JJ, Kirsa, and Amira are standing in a group, talking, although Kirsa is looking at her phone and not really paying attention. Will and Logan are talking close by.
So, on Saturday, I'm going to the movies. Then I work on Sunday.
Oh, damn. I was gonna ask if we could hang out.
Can we on Monday?
Did you hear that Chad and Ella broke up?
Monday,
No
I
shit.
Yeah, apparently Chad is like super pissed at Ella.
Well, I'm busy
Why?
Tuesday.
I don't know.
Wednesday?
But if I were
I'm
Ella,
free then.
I wouldn't have messed with Chad. You know he has like anger issues or some shit, right? I bet he's gonna shoot this place
Wednesday,
up.
I'm free then. Let me check.
No way.
I think so. And I know his dad keeps guns in their house. I went over once and Chad showed them to me. So he could totally do it. He and Ella have the same 4th block, so my money is on him doing it then.
Yeah, I think Wednesday works.
Oh shit, that's in like 10 minutes.
Yeah?
Did you hear them?
Who?
Logan and Will!
No, what did they say?
Something about, Chad.
And Ella? Yeah, they broke up.
No, he was talking about Chad shooting this place up.
Oh?
What?
Are you sure that's what he said? That doesn't seem like Chad.
Well, I overheard it, and they weren't talking super loud. I mean, I really just heard shooting. I could have misheard.
It's probably just that, or they were joking around. You know Logan, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Are you going to the game on Friday?
I was thinking about it.
You should ask Carlos to go with you.
Oh my god, he would never say
Should we?
yes.
Tell Miss Elby
Tell her what?
what I heard.
I mean, if you think you heard it correctly.
Did you hear it correctly? You're kind of freaking me out.
Are you okay, Kirsa? You look kind of...
What if Chad is planning that? What if he has a gun? I have to cross the main hallway to get to my next class. He could be there.
I'm sure he won't be.
Here, how about we tell Elvie, like you said, just so you have some peace of mind. I'm sure it's nothing, but you don't look too good.
Yeah, look, Albie's right over there. Let's go, okay?
I don't want to.
I'll go. She might ask to talk to you, though.
Just tell her.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll be here.
Thanks, Amira.
No problem.
Amira exits. JJ and Kirsa sit together, Kirsa wringing her hands. After a moment,
You really think you heard that?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure everything will be okay. That kind of stuff doesn't happen here.
Not yet.
You know Loganville. They always say stupid shit. Don't get me wrong. I believe you. Just trying to.
Yeah, thanks.
Amira enters from the same place she exited, crossing to JJ and Kirsa.
I told her.
And?
She's calling admin. What did you expect?
I don't know. I mean, this. Figure she called, but still.
And she said she'd talked to Logan and Will.
What have I heard wrong? Oh God, Logan's gonna think it's me. He's gonna tell everyone I'm a pussy.
Hey,
Shit.
better safe than sorry.
Are you okay, Kirsa?
It was just my anxiety, you know? Being trapped in a room with no doors and hearing that's super great.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, I feel the same way.
Like a panic attack?
Yeah, I guess.
Kirsa, JJ, and Amira glance at Logan and Will, then turn into a small huddle-like group. Lights fade on Will and Logan.
You think they'll be pulled out of class?
Maybe. Probably in 4th period.
I mean, there's only 2 minutes left of class. You know the bells are automatic and admin won't make an announcement.
Yeah, and the intercoms don't even work. You can't even hear them in half the classrooms. This school is seriously a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Who snitched?
For real, why can't anyone take a joke?
They don't know it's you.
They could have seen you talking with Elby.
Who cares? They won't get in trouble anyways. Everything's good. Just go to 4th block and try to forget about it.
It didn't happen. We're fine.
Exactly. We're fine. Nothing happened, and it's not going to.
Not today, at least.
The bell rings, and Amira, JJ, and Kirsa walk out together. Kirsa still slightly shaky. Scene 3. A gradual shift, not as sudden as the previous scene change. Lights rise back on the chorus setting we saw in the first scene.
We all think it. No one ever thinks that won't happen.
Teachers have closed doors discussions with us about it.
Sometimes you'll be in class and just hear a pop from down the hall.
The entire class freezes.
We all look at each other and have this moment of,
Holy shit, it's happening! It'll just be a balloon or a science class doing an experiment or something, but
You feel it in your chest. The fear that your life is about to end.
A teacher told me once that I don't have to worry about my school being shot up. Her reasoning? I go to an inner city school. She said that most schools with shooters are rich, predominantly white schools. So I'll be fine. But the kids at rich schools, they might not be.
When I was a freshman, one of my best friends in a neighboring school told me someone was planning on shooting up his school at 1 o'clock. The school knew about the threat, but all the kids were still there. I made my friend text me every 5 minutes that he was safe.
my friends will text me, don't go to school tomorrow. This kid posted that he's gonna bring a gun.
Every high school in my county, hell, probably even state, has had a shooter threat, and most have had more than one.
But it's not just schools, it's concerts.
Movies,
Festivals,
Farmers markets.
and I don't even have to worry about being killed by a police officer while walking down the street.
I could be killed for jogging my neighborhood or walking my dog after dark.
this isn't hypothetical.
This is now.
Blackout. End of play.
Malcolm by Dipkanya Mitra. Sister, the woman who Malcolm grew up with. Bandmate, a close friend of Malcolm. College friend, a confident lawyer on this case. Driver, the person who gave Malcolm his last ride.
He said his name was Malcolm. I said, like Malcolm X? He said he didn't believe in violence.
He had a soulful voice, played a mean guitar too. We played a diner in Atlanta, and the guy who owned it called him a couple different slurs. They almost fought, but I held him back, said, "He deserves a punch, but don't do it." Next day, he said he needed to go home.
Where's home? I asked. He said Saponi Falls.
Most people don't take hitchhikers anymore. They're worried. I'm not. I picked him up down at Atlanta. I dropped him off in Saponi Falls.
We grew up there, Maryland, a suburb of DC. Nothing big ever happened in Saponi Falls. People there are liberal. I think it could be one of the most liberal places in the US outside California. Everyone was surprised when they heard the news. Everyone trusted the police. It wasn't supposed to happen to him. It wasn't supposed to happen here. But there's a video, and you can see it. And you can hear each word the police said. And you can hear my brother's loud breath, trying to clinch for life.
I told him not to leave Atlanta, but he had to leave. He had something to tell his sister.
He texted me saying he needed something important to say. And he kept saying sorry, he said. I should have told you earlier, but I didn't. I was excited that he was coming home. He hadn't been back for a while. We all thought that he was mad at us or something, but he's not like that. He's quiet, observant.
Introspective.
He's not the kind of guy that complains or gets angry, ever. He just notices things. When we were younger, he notices the things that I missed. Once we were driving past a Black Lives Matter protest in the neighborhood, and he told me, "Isn't it ironic? There isn't a single black person here." It must have been hard for him to grow up in Saponi Falls. Our parents adopted him. I don't know the details. Malcolm never asked.
He was dead set on learning more about his biological parents when I met him in college. I was studying African American studies with a minor in statistics. He was studying classical music.
I asked him why he wanted to do folk, and he shrugged.
And after he said that, he was silent. He was silent through the Carolinas and through Virginia. But somehow we understood each other.
I didn't ask him anymore. I get it. There's something about the music that makes the pain of a dead-end job, a dead-end life, melt away.
Well, we did it. We went through databases of internet records and phone books, and we found them. He was born in Brooklyn. His father died in jail, and his mother died having him. When we went to college, he went to Brooklyn. I went to law school and became a civil rights lawyer.
It wasn't supposed to happen here. It wasn't supposed to happen to him.
Malcolm's case is the most important, most personal one I've ever worked on. It keeps me up at night. Brooklyn taught him that his great-grandparents were sharecroppers on a Georgia plantation. He said he had to go.
I couldn't understand why he kept moving, but he said he was fine. He said that he'd tell me, and he sent me postcards from Atlanta. It's a big city. He said that there are a lot of opportunities, teaching guitar with his band.
I wonder what he saw in Georgia. We drifted apart.
Somehow, he drifted away from all of us and into music instead.
We played clubs and weddings and birthday parties. We played parks and restaurants. We played a diner, and he realized he was done.
I think he finally found his anger.
He was deflated.
He was tired. We stepped into my car. He carried a guitar case.
I asked him if he was going to come back to Atlanta, but he was quiet.
I don't like how quiet he gets sometimes, like he's celebrating his own funeral. I don't know very much about the Saponi, but there was a paragraph on it in one of the textbooks. Their language incorporates words of African origin because the Saponi were one of the tribes that were known for sheltering runaway slaves. And sometimes, swimming in this ocean of depression where justice seems to be what's in shackles, I wonder why.
He never came home.
I've got words for the officer who murdered my bandmate.
We held a vigil, and people came from everywhere.
To the man who murdered my bandmate, you took away my best friend. You took away a man that heals other men with music. and you took away his life because of your hatred.
We had gotten into the city, Saponi Falls, and night had fallen. I stopped at the gas station near the park. He thanked me and left. Into the night. When I came back from the gas station before getting into my car, I saw him, walking in the park, whistling. He looked happy and calm, peaceful. And suddenly there was a fury of activity. Things moved so fast. An officer walked past and I pulled out my camera. The details are fuzzy, but you can see it, hear it.
You can see the way the officer violates Malcolm's body.
You can hear Malcolm's loud heart.
The officer pinned him down to the concrete footpath of the park, and a shot rang out.
The end.
Scene 1. Miss Martin is on a cafeteria monitoring duty, drinking an iced coffee. The Fates behind her. Off to the side, Maria has a balloon-popping fundraiser set up. Fate 2 and Fate 3 always address one another when speaking, while Fate 1 stares straight out, addressing the audience in the chipper tone of an overexcited newscaster, standing perfectly still and smiling but not speaking. For each of her lines, there should be a ping, like notifications you might hear from an iPhone. And as she is saying them, Miss Martin should check her phone and react to them. All three are dressed the same as Miss Martin, but in a grayscale version of her outfit. Miss Martin should react to what the Fates are saying, but just never look at them or address them directly. The Fates, however, can hear all one another.
Are there too many kids in here?
Bing!
Recommended headline: survey finds 8% of public schools have enrollment that exceeds their permanent capacity by more than 25%.
I feel like there's way too many kids in here.
I actually think there's less kids in here than normal.
Ping!
Recommended article: skipping school. Timeout adds up.
Remember all those missing assignments we've been putting in?
No, there's definitely more. Do you feel how hot it is in here? Is the air conditioner broken?
Bing!
Continue reading. New research quantifies the impact of extreme heat on learning.
What would we do if something happened with this many kids in here? How would they all get out?
They wouldn't.
Hey, Maria, what's all this?
Fundraiser for student government. It's $1 to pop a balloon, and you could win a prize. Want to try?
Sure.
Oh my my God, it's literally happening right now. Everyone needs to evacuate. Okay, let's go.
That was a balloon popping, idiot. How would you even get everyone's attention?
The bell rings.
Hey, Oscar.
Hi, Miss Martin. See you fourth period.
Oh, hang on a minute. I noticed you hadn't been turning in your reading questions on the Odyssey the past couple weeks. Is there any reason why?
I was going to get cut off this weekend, but I was busy.
Oh, okay. Well, if anything is going on, you know you can tell me. Just try to get up. We've got a discussion this Friday, and you usually have really good input.
The bell rings.
If anything is going on, you can tell me. I can't believe we're really talking like that.
The Odyssey. I love that book.
You would.
I hope they're enjoying it.
Miss Martin goes over to the table where the balloons were and sits down in front of the laptop. She takes up her walkie-talkie and sits down at the table next to her.
That was way too close back there.
That was quite literally nothing. Why are you so tense all the time?
I'm not tense. And at least I had a plan. What were you going to do?
Oh, yeah, great plan. Oh, no, everyone get out. I know what to do. We've had how many lockdown drills this past year? Bing.
Recommended article, Lockdown Drills, an American Quirk Out of Control.
We've never done one in the cafeteria.
That's because they're completely pointless. Bing.
Continue watching. Tonight we go inside a company that profits off of staging realistic shooter drills.
No, they're
A
not.
small part of the $2.7 billion school security industry.
They prepare students for the worst.
Maybe, but at what cost?
Bing.
Message from Sarah. This is what I've been trying to tell Francis for ages. Saw you jump in the cafeteria, by the way. LOL. Link. Experts worry active shooter drills in schools could be traumatic for students.
The walkie-talkie cackles to life with someone yelling unintelligibly over it.
See, look at you. You're a constant wreck. And for what?
I just like to be prepared.
For the inevitable, you mean?
No, it's not like that. Don't say that. Why do you have to be such a pessimist all the time?
I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist.
The bell rings.
Bing.
Recommended reading. Pessimists are 35% more likely to suffer from a heart attack or stroke than optimists, according to a recent meta-analysis of data from...
See, all your negativity is killing you.
You're not an optimist either.
Yes, I am.
And why do you worry about everything all the time?
All of a sudden, Maria bursts in the classroom, very upset.
Miss Martin, I need to tell you something.
What is it, Maria?
Do you promise you'll believe me?
Of course. What's going on?
Well, last period I was in art class with Oscar. And
Spit it out already.
Shh. He has a gun with him in his backpack. I saw it.
Fate 3 chokes on her coffee.
And I know you have him next period.
Okay,
And
thank you for telling me, Maria. Go back to class for right now. I promise I'll take care of this immediately.
Miss Martin stays still, frozen with fear and uncertainty.
We don't have to tell anyone.
We should just confront him. Ding.
Message from Parson County Library. Overdue book notice. 10 ways to make a confrontation work for you.
He's such a good kid.
We have to do something.
What am I saying? We can't get in trouble for this.
What do we do? You're the one who's supposed to be ready for this. Ding.
10 people liked your comment. When I think about dealing with a school shooting, the word unprepared comes to mind.
Oh my God, didn't we just email him saying we were going to have a conference with his parents if he didn't get caught up on the reading? What if we pissed him off?
This is not about us. Stop being so self-centered and focus. What do we do?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Why is this happening?
The bell rings.
Ding.
Message from Quody. Quote of the day, thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. W. Clement Stone.
Miss Martin is ready now. She picks up her walkie-talkie and moves back into the courtyard, the fates following her. Oscar walks by and sees Miss Martin staring at him.
Hi, Miss Martin. Is everything okay?
Grab him.
No!
Oscar gives Martin an awkward half smile, but then realizes what she knows. This is one terrible beat before he starts to run, and Miss Martin grabs his backpack. Blackout. Scene 2. Lights up on a similar desk to Miss Martin, differing only in the fact that it belongs to the principal.
Miss Francis said you were begging to talk to me before your parents got here. Why?
Because I like your class, and I probably won't be coming back to it. And I like you, and I don't want you to leave with you thinking I was some troubled, burnout school shooter.
Isn't that exactly what he is?
I want you to know the truth.
Is this going to get us in trouble?
You did tell the truth to Miss Francis, right?
Yes, and the police, and soon my parents, which defeats the whole purpose of this whole thing.
What is he rambling about?
Oscar, just start at the beginning. I'm listening, okay?
Okay, I guess, well, I'm not blaming him, but this is really all because of my brother.
Your brother? I don't follow.
Why do you think he did it?
I don't know.
I bet he was getting bullied. Bing!
Recommended from the headlines. New study shows about 20% of students aged 12 to 18 have experienced bullying.
Or on drugs.
I said I don't know. Please shut up.
Fine. Okay. Stop taking everything so seriously.
Can you explain a bit more, please?
My brother hangs out with the wrong crowd here. Sometimes him and his best friend get into big fights. I knew they were arguing recently, and I heard my brother say to his other friend that he's going to finally do something big, finally shut him up. Sometimes my brother is mad, he does things he doesn't normally do, and he gets himself in trouble. But he's not a bad person, usually. He can be very nice, and I walked in on him in my parents' room. He was holding my dad's gun, and he jumped when I asked him what he was doing. I just got really scared of what he was going to do. And so I decided to hide it, and I was pretty sure he wasn't going to go in my backpack, so I put it there. And I was so anxious the whole weekend that he was going to ask me that I forgot to do the reading. But then the next day was Monday morning, and I was late and in a rush, and I forgot to take it out when I got to school, and then I saw it in there, and I freaked out,
Oscar,
and then...
why didn't you tell someone what was going on?
Someone? I think you mean me. And you know why.
I was scared, and I was worried that you might be mad at me for not doing my work, and you wouldn't listen to me. And I didn't want my brother to get in trouble. I wanted him to be able to graduate, get a job, and turn his life around.
Ugh, Sarah had his brother last year, didn't she? What did she call him? A little shit?
Poor kid. What about him?
If we knew about his brother, how did we not know about this? Ding!
2 missed calls from Mom. Message from Mom. I just got your voicemail. Are you okay?
How would we have known?
It's sweet that you care so much about your brother, Oscar, but what about you? You're so smart.
I know, okay? I'm sorry. I get it. I let everyone down. You all thought I was different from him.
Mrs. Martin looks away, feeling guilty.
The police tried to take this as evidence, but I didn't want to steal it from you. And they decided it wasn't actually important. I guess it's no marked up Catcher in the Rye.
The Odyssey.
Sorry I never got to finish it. I actually really like it.
Keep it. I still want to hear your insights someday.
My parents must be here.
That's it, huh? Truly moving performance, especially considering you ruined his life.
Don't let this define you, Oscar.
Scene 3. Lights up at the same set. Miss Martin is working at her desk. The Fates are sitting off to the side, a bit more distant from Miss Martin than before, but still present.
Come in.
Hi, Miss Martin.
Hey, Maria, what can I
What
do?
happened to Oscar?
Maria, I
I
can't
know,
say.
and I can guess what happened, but I just feel really bad. Oscar is a really nice person, Miss Martin. He wouldn't do what he did without a good idea or good reason. I kind of feel like I snitched on him.
Aww, just like we did.
I know what you mean.
They look sadly at one another.
Actually, I could use your help.
With what?
I want to start some kind of program in honor of Oscar. To make the school safer and more friendly, I was hoping you might want to help me.
That sounds amazing. What did you have in mind?
Well, I was...
Why does she still want to talk to us? We don't have any good ideas.
And even if we had a good idea, I'm pretty sure the school is way too underfunded. Where would we even get the money?
Ding!
Message from unknown number. Confirming therapy appointment with Dr. David on Wednesday, August 26th.
Actually, I'd like to hear your ideas. I have a feeling you know what needs to change around here better than I do.
Then why don't we get started?
Lights out. End of play.
Hullabaloo by Sarah Schechter. Setting: the interior of a late 19th century big top circus tent. Conveying this can be as simple as red and white drapes. In the center of the stage hangs the curtain. Next to it, a throne like the Lincoln Memorial. The curtain, a piece of cloth used to cover the grand finale, and a portal used to project images and shadows and outlines behind it. It's used for the blood map, which shows gun violence in the continental United States and beyond. Characters: the ringleader, Hunter. A charismatic man with a strong voice and shifty eyes. Wears a long coat, top hat, and holds a cane. The boys, Homer and Mel. A pair of teen boys. Homer is older than Mel. The show, Hunter's Hullabaloo, is a reimagining of Buffalo Bill's storytelling and P.T. Barnum's grandeur, creating a fusion of American myth and gun culture. Lights dim. A collage of firearm outlines is projected to fill the curtain, almost glowing. Lights come on and Hunter enters through a tent flap. He taps the curtain with his cane and the gun projection goes away. Drums, fanfare, or circus music sounds. He addresses the camera.
Damn it, that's supposed to happen the other way around. Well, hello, welcome out to the theater this evening, gents and ladies. I am Hunter, also known as the Hunter, also known as Hunter Hank, and I am your ringmaster, your leader, your uncle and guide and gent for this here traveling show. I sure am glad you put down your dime to see Hunter's great hullabaloo. The greatest show not just in the world, but in all of history. I am the wordsmith and ringleader for the brilliant acts you'll be seeing tonight. I'll show you the stories of the land you're sitting on, and the beasts that earned it, and what exactly made it so great. While our acts are getting ready, you enjoy your peanuts and popcorn. I have a riddle for y'all. You gotta guess who I'm talking about. Whoever can put a name to the individual I'm describing will get a surprise. I'm American like white crosses, red blood, and blue lives. I put the buckshot in your beef, the ball in your brain. Who was it that hushed the griot, shot Lincoln, the King, and the Kennedys too? It was me, spreading like a fire on your prairie. Manifest destiny, fathered by Saxons and mothered by the Angles. Raised by the colony's devourer of pheasant, pig, and partridge. Boars and bobcats, hippos and lions too, oh my. Conquered King Phil, but rebuked by Pontiac. I beat steel, germs beat me. Faithfully at the side of Daniel Boone and Jesse James, America fell in love with my voice years ago. Built to kill, but fun for toys. 6 shooters, powder caps, I dance on screens. Johnny Appleseed might have well planted bullets, because I am everywhere. Maybe I won't be in the news for a while, but I'll be around. I stand my ground. Held by panthers or knights, you can try and coerce me with fire, water, and brute force, but my favorite amendment lets me do whatever I want. I am well-oiled, ready to go, heavy with powder, the big iron on your hip, semi-automatic and rapid fire, double-barreled, always loaded. What's my name? Gatling, Smith, Wesson, Remington, Coke, Heckler, Colt, Beretta. Call me the devil, but I'm just metal and wood. Who am I talking about? Me! I'm talking about me. Hunter Hank, Uncle Sam, Brother Jonathan. I'm everybody. Anyone get it? Nobody got it, but that's okay. Sit tight for the grandest show in history. All for you.
The boys enter, dressed in colonial settler clothing.
Act 1.
Juggling and dancing colonial times.
I now present the Juggling Jamestown Boys.
Hunter hits the curtain with his cane, and Federal Overture by Hesperus Early Music Ensemble begins to play. Homer and Mel begin to do a dance in a classic colonial style to the music. Hunter speaks along with the music.
Muskets, pistols, long rifles, knives, bayonets, tomahawks, axes, swords, sabers, pole arms and cannons, shot molds, tinder lighters, and cartridge boxes too. Taking it back to the beginning, we had tools to get what we wanted all the way back from when we first got here. Among other things, guns really helped us expand, especially at first.
As he speaks, the blood map appears on the curtain. Red splotches like blood spread across the map Jamestown to the 13 colonies, showing the growth of the United States from 1607 to 1853.
How many years was that, Mel?
264 years.
Good boy. When was the first gun, Homer?
The arquebus, a long-barreled musket-like weapon, was most likely the first personal firearm on mainland America. Columbus and other early explorers were probably the first Europeans to bring firearms to the New World.
The boys pull out balls and begin to juggle.
In the late 18th century, the Anglo-American settlers' breakup from Britain came alongside the slaughtering of entire families without distinction of age or gender. This was the annihilation of what tribes, boys?
Cherokee,
Muskogee,
Delaware,
Seneca,
Mohawk,
Miami,
and
and
Shawnee.
Shawnee.
That's right. White settler militias expanded the boundaries of the 13 colonies. Now, boys, in 1658, your home state of Virginia ordered every single settler to own a firearm. The government even provided loans for those who couldn't afford a weapon. What did this mean?
Taking land is an individual and collective right.
A well-regulated militia.
Good. What else?
Sacred right to arm bears.
No, Homer.
No woman unarmed?
No, Mel. No man unarmed. Militias and armed households for the control of the land. Remember, what did I teach you to?
Every man is a soldier.
Say it again.
Every man is a soldier.
Again.
Every man is a soldier. Act 2.
Beast gunslingers.
Well, we've touched on covering the land, but how about controlling it? Hunting is a classic pastime, one of my favorites, and a good way to keep things under control.
On the curtain, the outlines of circus animals connected by chains run past. Sounds of a lion roaring, chains jingling, an elephant blowing its trumpet. A stampede of buffalo pass, sounds of buffalo stampeding. A stampede of children pass, the sounds of children running and screaming. Hunter shakes his head and hits the curtain until the kids disappear.
Oops, things get a little crazy back there. Anyways, I've realized animals are smelly and ornery and really aren't that entertaining. We already killed all the buffalo, and no matter what anyone says, draft jerky is not nice. But you know what is? Bloodshed.
The boys enter in cowboy clothing and holsters.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Annie Oakley made sharpshooting overrated, but a good old Western standoff ain't. I've got the two best gunslingers with us today, Homer and Mel, ready to shoot each other, just for your entertainment. This act celebrates being an American in America, the land of low APR financing and under-seasoned meat. What else, fellas?
Supercuts.
Key lime pie and Twinkies.
CVS.
Diet soda.
Foot Locker.
Bass Pro Shops.
Walmart.
Goodyear tires.
That's right, boys. Now let's get a shooting.
What the hell is this?
Well, I can't actually have bullets flying about. You've got to do that in private. I've got plenty of other stuff, though.
Hunter gestures to baskets on the ground, one next to Homer and the other next to Mel, from which they pull out sticks shaped like guns, then hair dryers, then cell phones, then a toilet plunger and Bibles. They aim them at each other, then toss them aside.
What do I have to do to get a goddamned gun around here?
Oh, it's too dangerous, Homer. The audience will love you anyways.
Well, those are all things the police have shot people for holding.
Shut up, Mel.
It ain't a real gun show without guns, Hunter.
It ain't a real gun show without you two entertaining the audience.
It ain't about entertainment. It's about power.
Right. Just because you took us in doesn't mean anything. You just want to entertain. We just want to live the dream you promised us.
We're gonna find guns, old man.
We'll have fun with them.
I lead this show because people should know about the glory of our nation. They should see history. They should see its greatness. They should see people for who they are.
He pulls out a red clown nose, lipstick, and white powder, and begins to apply clown makeup as he speaks. He transforms into Uncle Sam. Projections appear on the blood map, showing the places he discusses.
You know, I'm a free thinker myself. I think about guns and what they do. I've thought that maybe gun violence didn't necessarily start with gunpowder. Guns are their own beast. But just like race is born from racism, maybe guns are born from something besides metal. Maybe gun violence was set up to be a problem back when gunpowder reached Europe, and when a papal decree in 1455 permitted the Portuguese monarchy to seize West Africa and enslave its population. Maybe policing was set up to be a problem when slave codes from the 1660s in the British colony of Barbados extended the task of controlling enslaved Africans from overseers and slavers to all white settlers. This meant collective racial policing was added to traditional English policing. This meant a tradition of settler terrorism supported by guns. Maybe the combination of guns and policing and industry were set up to be a problem with the capitalist firearm industry, which was among one of the first successful modern corporations. Gun proliferation and violence are among its legacies, but nobody's perfect, you know. I'm not here to just tell you my thoughts. I want you to be entertained. I want you to learn about guns. And the show must always go on. I'm sure you're all getting the best bang for your buck. The show must always go on.
Act 3.
Freak show Civil War.
The boys exit. The sounds of a country night play, crickets and cicadas. Hunter strolls back and forth with the cane. Mean Old Bedbug Blues by Furry Lewis begins to play.
This part used to be my favorite act of the whole thing. Fresh from Antietam, Bull Run, Gettysburg, Shiloh, Vicksburg, the freak show.
He turns to the curtain. There are outlines of limping and disfigured men walking behind the cloth, missing limbs, holding limbs, heads crooked. Hunter looks at the figures hungrily with wide eyes. They pass and the music and night sounds fade.
But then it became illegal to show those guys, so we have to let you see them from behind a curtain, and it's really not the same. They're crumbling and too old to see. But there are still bodies like theirs. And you want to see the blood and the gore, just a peek. That's the thing about bad things. You can't help but watch. Sometimes that's what it means to be an American in America.
The blood map turns on, pulsing with every American mass shooting since 1999.
And sometimes it's not the gore you need to see, but the constant possibility. That's what was entertaining about Annie Oakley's sharpshooting. She could shoot dimes from a man's hand, cigarettes from his lips, or the flame on a moving candle. She could shoot the middle of an ace of spades over her shoulder looking in a mirror. Anything could happen. Especially in Act 4, trapeze/sharpshooting. Now, this one is the greatest. It's my new favorite. Some folks will say America is committed to a social order predicated on human disposability. But I call it the greatest show in the greatest history of the greatest country on earth.
Basin Street Blues by Louis Armstrong begins to play. The boys enter dressed in silk and begin to perform incredible feats. Hunter and the audience should both be in awe. Hunter faces the audience, opening his arms. When the drum break begins, the boys mime shooting machine guns at Hunter, who shakes his body like it's being riddled with bullets. Then, the boys run forward with a gag. They come behind Hunter. Mel takes his cane, and Homer gags him. They tie him down in the throne, and an apple is placed on his head. Basin Street Blues turns off.
I hate jazz.
Me too, Mel. Well, I guess this is the real final act. You've taught us it takes fame to be a man, it takes infamy, it takes lives. And you want to entertain them, don't you, Hunter? We're American like white crosses, red blood, and blue lives. You put the buckshot in our beef, the ball in our brain. Who was it that hushed the griot, shot Lincoln, the king, and Hunter too?
Stuck in the Middle with You by Steeler's Wheel begins to play. Mel pulls a mirror out of the sack and sets it in front of Hunter. Mel and Homer pull white robes out of their clothes and put them on. Homer pulls out a gun-shaped package from his robe. Homer hands it to Mel and puts his hand on Mel's shoulder. A red laser target lights up on Hunter's forehead. The curtain finally lifts up, revealing a field of objects. A baby crib, a dummy at a high school desk, a white cross, a rainbow flag, a Torah, a teddy bear in a chair, all with their own laser targets aimed at them. The light gets brighter and brighter, focusing on the curtain. now an enormous American flag hanging over everything at the center of the stage. The light gets brighter and brighter until the room is flooded with white light. End.
Guns in Dragonland by Eslyn Grayson. Characters: Lila Gordon, 3rd grader, imaginative, innocent, headstrong, tomboyish. Usually plays on the playground alone. A brilliant young mind, the princess of the dragons. Toucan, an imaginary dragon, a playful parental type, as colorful as their name suggests. Setting: present day, any town, USA. Any elementary school's playground and hallway / Dragonland. A school bell rings. Sounds of children shouting and laughing is heard. It's recess time. Lila, a young girl, bolts on stage, grabs a stick from off the ground, and runs to a piece of playground equipment. She stands on top of it triumphantly.
I am Lila Gordon, the Princess of Dragonland, and you shall listen to me, dragon.
A dragon, Toucan, appears dramatically, growling and snarling fiercely as they approach her. Lila wears a smug look of bravery on her face.
Wah, wah, booga, booga.
Toucan pounces, enveloping Lila in a giant bear hug from behind.
Oh, Toucan.
Did I get you this time?
No, of course not. You never do. You don't scare me, beast. You haven't scared me since we started playing together on the first day of school. I feel like it's my job as Princess of Dragons to not be afraid of any dragons.
Lila shows off her sword.
Ah, grr, I suppose you're right. One of these days I'll catch you off guard. Hey, what are we doing today, Lila?
We can climb the castle spire of the jungle gym.
Nah, we did that Wednesday.
We can play fireball.
No way, I threw my wing out last time we played. This 509-year-old physique isn't what it used to be.
Oh yeah, you got it caught in the soccer net. I remember going to the nurse for you, but she wouldn't give me ice for you because it was a waste.
Grr, that's right. No good non-believing crone.
Sounds of children playing together are heard. Lila is distracted by them.
Say, what are they doing over there with that ball? Looks pretty dangerous and violent. Let's go play.
No, I don't want to play with them.
Oh man, it looks so fun. Why not?
They've been mean. I don't really want to talk about it.
You know that you can tell me anything, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'd much rather play with you.
Lila eyes the empty swing set.
Ooh, can we have flying lessons?
Well, maybe for a little bit. I don't want to waste our daily 30 minutes on something too dangerous.
Yes.
Lila runs over and stands on top of a swing. Toucan stands behind her and begins to push. Lila awkwardly gains height. When she's at an average distance, she jumps off, falling to the ground gracelessly.
Ow. Ow. Ow!
Ah, Gorgon brains. I knew this was a bad idea. We really shouldn't have learned. We really should have learned after the last 5 times it ended this way. What does it hurt?
My leg. My knee.
Gotcha. Just let me do my thing.
Toucan mystically heals Lila's leg.
Thanks, Toucan. I just don't understand why flying never works for me.
Oh, Lila. We've been over this. Humans can fly about as well as a phoenix can swim.
Well, I want to be the best flying human. How did you get your wings?
It's a pretty long tale.
Don't feel bad. I love your tail. It's so nice and warm. Feels like a pillow made out of jeans and old people's skin.
No, no, no. I mean tale, like a story. It's a pretty long, boring story.
Please? Pretty please with a fish on top?
Well, alright, the fish on top convinced me. If you must know, it was my 300th or so birthday, and I was trapped deep down inside this cave of goblins.
300? That's like 300 more years away until I get my own wings.
Hey, 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 look at you. Someone's been paying attention in math. Personally, I don't believe that age has anything to do with it. You see, in that cave, I helped those goblins by finding a magic amulet of peace or something. Long story. But anyways, I got my wings that day because I performed a valiant action.
Perform a galleon action.
Valiant, hun.
Come on, let's go perform a valiant action before recess is over. I already see kids lining up.
Alright, you're the boss, princess.
Lila looks at the ground in search for an adventure. She stumbles across an anthill.
Toucan, right here! There's 1,001 army of insectoids who want to steal the kingdom's food. We have to stop them.
Lila eagerly runs over to a nearby anthill. She prepares to stomp on it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold your centaurs. These hungry insectoid soldiers aren't doing anything wrong. They're completely defenseless. How would you feel if someone 100 times bigger stepped on you?
I wouldn't like that very
You
much.
wouldn't like it very much, would you? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, Toucan, this is useless. There's nothing battalion to do here, and everyone's already going back inside.
Valiant. And these things take time. I'll see you tomorrow, girly Q. Pay attention in math.
No, wait, Toucan. I just got an idea. What if I hid here? We could have so much more fun. Think of the heroic things we can do.
Oh, what a fun idea. Let's do it.
Lila hides underneath Toucan's wings. Beat. She pokes her head back out.
Awesome. We did it. Now what?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
A distant, discombobulated, semi-mechanical roaring noise stops the duo.
Whoa. What was that?
No idea. I don't see any dark clouds. Can't be an angry thunder dragon.
Maybe it's a hurt unicorn?
That didn't sound like any unicorn I've ever heard before.
Are you okay, Toucan? I've never seen you this nervous before.
What? Oh yeah, I guess I'm just a little uneasy is all.
Lila hugs Toucan from behind.
I love you, Toucan. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I love you too, Lila. Your hugs make me feel like I can do anything.
Good, because I have a feeling that our next quest has to do with that noise.
Oh, alright. I guess we're going into the school after all, huh?
Yep, let's go save that creature. Or defeat it, whichever comes first.
Whichever comes first.
Toucan notices Lila's stick on the ground.
Oh, hang on.
Toucan picks up the stick.
Your sword, princess?
Ah, yes, my swordy sword, the most valuable relic in all of Dragonland. Now that I have my weapon, let's be off.
How are we traveling today, co-pilot Lila?
I think we should teleport today, co-pilot Toucan. Over.
Sounds like a plan. Prepare for takeoff. Over.
The duo begin to spin in place as if they're teleporting. They are interrupted by the same sound from earlier, only it's a bit more clear. Distant screams. Toucan lands on their butt.
Crash landing, mayday, mayday. Anything but that awful sound again.
Only it was different. I think I heard some people scream. Oh, Toucan, we've got to save them. Maybe they lost their magic amulet of peace, like in your story.
It could be many things a young princess is not prepared for. My worry is that this is the mark of a death dragon. They've become more and more common in recent years.
Wow, a death dragon? Awesome.
No, not awesome. Terrifying. Death dragons hurt innocents purely because they can. I don't want you to get involved with a beast like that. We should go somewhere else.
Toucan, if I'm ever gonna be the perfect princess of Dragonland, I need to perform my valiant action and earn my wings. This is a perfect opportunity. I feel like you don't even want me to.
Of course I want to, Lila. I just have a nasty feeling.
I'm going in. They need me.
Lila, I'm very sorry that running is not the game you want to play right now, but sometimes we have to play games that we hate.
What if it's not the death dragon? Why would a death dragon ever kill another dragon?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, if it is a death dragon, like you say it is, we can use our power of friendship to make him good, you know?
You might be onto something there.
If we can show it our friendship power, then we can save the Dragonland and the school.
You're right. Come on, let's teleport in there quickly.
Silence. The lights inside the school are completely shut off. Lila stumbles into a locker. It is dead silent as she continues to explore her space.
Hello? Where did you go? Toucan, I'm scared.
Aw, honey, there's nothing to be afraid of here.
Toucan? Toucan, where are you?
Lila, I don't believe we're playing hide and seek, are we? I'm right here.
I want Mommy. I want Daddy. Where'd they? Where are they? This isn't normal.
Lila, I'm right here. Listen to me. Lila.
The light on Lila dulls. She has been sucked back into reality. Toucan tries to console her, only to find that they no longer can touch her. Footsteps. Lila nervously rises to her feet. Toucan continues to attempt connection. More footsteps. Lila reacts to the unseen death dragon, be it a step forward or another movement. A low growl reverberates the room. The lights fade in all spots except for Lila's face. He is the epitome of what should be feared. She looks up at him.
I am Lila Gordon, princess of the...
The sound of a cocked gun is heard. The trigger is pulled, emitting a massive, ear-shattering dragon roar. Lila has been shot. Complete blackness. Eventually, a light starts to grow on Lila, ending in a spectacular burst of flickering light. With the return of light emerges Lila's new wings. Lila, now reawakened, has completed her valiant action. Toucan and Lila can now see each other again. They embrace.
I am Lila Gordon, and I was the princess of dragons.
Lila looks at the sky above her and prepares to fly upwards. End.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We were so happy to have you in our virtual audience since you couldn't be here with us in the auditorium. We'd just like to take a moment now. I'd like to take a moment to say thank you one more time to our cast. So let's give a big round of applause for them wherever you are. I know you're giving lots of clap emojis, so really nice job. I'm really proud of how everyone stepped towards this project. If you have comments or specific questions for anyone in the cast, or me, or Mr. Zatoon, thank you also for watching Mr. Zatoon, please feel free to ask them and they will be relayed to us when they come in through the chat box. So first thing, I do want to make two announcements. If you would like to learn more about these plays, you can go to the website enoughplays.com, ENOUGHPLAYS.com, and there is a petition that is circling, and they're asking for signatures. If you'd like to do more, I encourage you to read that and sign your name if it's something you're interested in. The other thing that I'd like to encourage you to do if you're propelled to do more is to visit sandyhookpromise.org, Sandy Hook Promise. And if you feel so led, maybe make a donation. That's a great organization. Obviously, right here in our state. We've had them to speak at Hall. We really support the work they do to end gun violence before it starts. So enoughplays.com and sandyhookpromise.org are two organizations I encourage you to check out. All right. So we'll go to the chat. Just if anybody has any comments, anything that you found particularly moving or challenging, or anything you're curious about from the perspective of teens and their experience here in school, or their experience as they unpack what happens with school shootings, anything like that. We encourage you to ask questions. If you want to know what it was like to work on certain plays or certain character choices and what they decided to do and why, encourage you to do that. So any comments, feel free to comment or ask. I know it can be a lot to process, which is what hopefully many of you are doing now. So I do want to give a chance for some students maybe to kick us off. Maybe tell us maybe your name and your grade and something that this experience maybe brought up in you or made you think about in a different way in terms of preventing gun violence. So anybody that is at a microphone is welcome to begin. Before we do that, we're going to be coming back to the chats momentarily. We have one final thing to say to leave you with.
Since we began,
11 Americans have been shot and wounded.
5 more were killed with guns.
and it's likely that one of those deaths was someone under the age of 19.
Each of these plays was around 10 minutes.
10 minutes isn't all that long.
And to address something as huge as gun violence, 10 minutes might not feel like enough time at all.
But on October 1st, 2017, 10 minutes was long enough for a gunman to kill 60 people and wound 411 others in Las Vegas.
And on December 14th, 2012, 8 years ago today, half that amount of time, only 5 minutes, was long enough for a gunman to kill 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
If we live in a country where so many lives can be stolen in 10 minutes or less, then we must believe that 10 minutes of a moving story can also be enough.
Enough to change hearts.
And enough to change minds.
Because if numbers and statistics were enough,
we wouldn't all have to be here to say,
enough!
Thank you so much. And I think we can all agree we have had enough. I wanted to say that I really struggled as an educator on whether to participate. This opportunity was presented to me by the producer. It's a nationwide event. And I struggled with deciding, is this something we take on right now in the midst of the pandemic with things just feeling so difficult for all of us? And at the end of the day, what I came to realize is those people who have been impacted, those of you maybe watching by gun violence, you don't get to decide to just turn it off. It stays with you. It's a very real thing. And I think my students get that. You know, yes, we need moments of levity and hope, and that's why we're doing what we're doing today, to create those conversations, and to give opportunities for people to give back. So thank you for being here. I know it's a challenging topic, but it's certainly important. So if anybody has any comments or any questions or anything you want to know about, I encourage you to take advantage of a few moments to interact with my students. Thank you so much. So I have a question for anyone in the cast that wants to kick us off. You know, I was really struck by thinking about the fact that you guys were in elementary school during the Sandy Hook shooting and then now in high school during Parkland. And I know that that's hit home with a lot of you, and also probably that fact hasn't been lost on your parents. I'm just wondering, is it something, are school shootings or is violence and gun violence something that you are faced with and think about on a regular basis, given that we're here in the safety net of a suburban school? And if so, what kind of thoughts go through your head? Is anybody brave enough to talk to that question? Okay, sure. Sophia and Ava, come on up.
Okay, so for me, talking about, no, really counts? Oh, okay. So I was thinking about Sandy Hook today, obviously, and how I think I was in 2nd or 3rd grade when it happened, maybe 1st. And I was just thinking about how I could have been in like a Model UN conference with one of them. I don't really know why I was thinking about that, but we're in the same state. And I meet people from high schools all over the state. And it's just like kind of living in this time period, going to a school every day and, noticing all of the things that aren't safe. Like, I noticed in one of the black box stores, there aren't any security cameras, which was ironic because we were going in to talk about gun violence. So yeah, so it's kind of just like a 24/7. I have, we all have like escape plans and we think about it during the day, and we always do lockdown drills and stuff. So.
For me, I am a pretty imaginative person, and so I think for a while now, like since we've been having lockdown drills in elementary school, I've always been thinking, if someone came into this room, how would I help people? How would I fight back? And then I also think there was that line in Loaded Language about people talking about their last words or their last texts, and I think about that too sometimes when I'm saying goodbye to my parents in the morning. I think, what if I don't see them again? So, yeah. I don't really know how I actually learned about Sandy Hook because I was very young at the time, and my parents didn't tell me too much about it because they were pretty affected by that, and they didn't really want to tell me something so horrible when I was like 7. So I'm not sure how I found out, but I can't really remember the emotion I felt during that when I found out about it, because I don't even remember finding out about it. It just sort of appeared in my memory one day, and then I just sort of moved on, and that's kind of a little weird, because it should affect me a bit more, but since it's just such a normal thing to think about, like a school being shot up and people dying. So, yeah, that's...
Well, thank you, Sophia. Very powerful. We had a good conversation in one of my other classes today about this idea of things being so common and just getting desensitized. So I really appreciate that feedback. Summer?
Hi, I'm Summer, and I share a lot of the thoughts with Sophia. I think I don't remember what happened because I was 6 years old when Sandy Hook happened. I think as I've gotten older, I think when around middle school started, I've started to become more aware of how serious it is. And I think I've always taken these things more seriously than other people. That sounds snobby, I know, but like I think when I was born, I just became an adult. And I went to, in elementary school, I went to a Jewish day school. So it was always on the teacher's radar that a shooter could come in. And we would have lockdown drills very often, and there was one time where we thought it was real. And I was only like 8 or 9, so I didn't really register it. It was a false alarm, but the teachers thought it was real. So I think it's just something that's ingrained in my mind, and I've become very desensitized to it. So when I talk about this with like adults who are from a different generation and aren't used to this, they're like, that must be awful. And I think me and my generation, we've just grown up with all these awful things happening to children all the time, so we're just used to hearing about it, and we have our escape plans, as they said before, so I think it's just our normal.
As someone who lived in Europe and Asia and a lot of the places that were in America, I didn't have the privilege of not, going to having school shooting drills and stuff. So I wasn't prepared. So when I came here for 8th grade, it was like a very big shocker because I had to do it for the first time. Because of course I went from kindergarten to 7th grade without doing it. So I kind of always feel weird when I do it because, of course, I haven't had to do it for like years. So it's very weird for me to do these things. But other people are like so calm, so it's kind of weird.
No, thank you so much, Livy. That's a very interesting perspective. What it must be like to come here and then all of a sudden be thrust into school shooter drills is unnerving. I felt the same thing when I became a teacher not too long ago. We're going to let one more student speak, and then we have a couple questions from the audience. Some folks are wondering what was the most difficult role or aspect of the project for you, if you feel comfortable speaking to that. And then the other question is a really good one. Did you talk with any other students doing the readings? We did not. I would have loved to have been connected. To be honest, there's half theater companies and half schools are doing this. So if we did it again, I'd love to maybe connect us with other students doing the readings. I think that'd be really powerful. Okay, go ahead, Kendra.
I was just thinking Parkland was so, I went to Florida around 2 years ago, and my sister and my mother and we went mini golfing near Parkland. And my sister and I were like, well, we kind of want to see what it looks like because we wanted to know what schools looked like in Florida. And she's like, oh, I could take you to Parkland. And it was odd because you'd think it looked so different from any other high school, being one that was singled out for a shooting, but it was so strikingly similar to Hall that it was kind of jarring. And I think that was really like a testament to kind of like it could happen to any of us.
For one of the characters I played, Driver, he actually sees like someone like get shot by a cop, and I mean, for me personally, it was really hard to get into that. So I've been fortunate enough to never actually have someone like die in front of me, and I think it was just like kind of hard to get the emotions through. That hey, this person had to like watch that and see it, and like is having to relive it as he speaks through it. So that was really difficult for me to try to get the emotions through.
So I was the reader for Dragonland, and I think that was one of the more intense pieces that we did, because it's just, we read it, 8 in the morning, and we had to read about this little girl and her imagined dragon, getting shot. So it was just very kind of like stuck with me throughout the day, and it's just a very solemn ending.
For me, playing Homer in Hullabaloo was interesting because I feel like it's at once one of the more playful pieces, and at the same time it has a very like dark undertone just right beneath it all, especially with the reading area. But that last line, that sort of monologue from Homer, it's a little difficult to do because it's got a lot of phrases in it that are clearly alluding to things, like the white crosses, probably alluding to like things like the KKK, and blue lives, police officers, red blood is obviously people dying. So it's just very interesting to have the sort of like last line of the play. Of course, the reader had the last line, but if it had been staged, Homer would have had the last line. And I just think, like right after I did that, I felt a little bit weird. And so I went to the bathroom to calm down. But it was just, it affects you because I don't know exactly who Homer is. You don't get a sense of who the Mel, Homer, and Hunter are. They're just sort of like these personalities meant to represent something, I guess. So it was just a very interesting monologue to read. I never really read something like that. So yeah.
One of the hardest things that we had to balance was sort of juggling between making sure things weren't too jarring or upsetting or violent, and making sure they looked real and believable and sort of really represented what the realities of our country are. And it was definitely a struggle to find a good, a happy medium between both, especially between the last one that Sophia just talked about with Hullabaloo, because there's some really violent and intense scenes there, and some really difficult things to say, but I feel like they're important and that they have to be said, otherwise the message won't get across.
Piggybacking onto what Maya said, we also really had to focus about the race aspect of this, because we really just couldn't cast a black character with a white actor. So I think, especially Malcolm, the predominantly white cast, because the three of us are white, it's kind of a little odd.
Wow, thank you. I'm so lucky to get to work with these students every day. Honestly, you guys are terrific. Thank you for watching. And if you're still here, thank you for listening and doing your part to raise awareness. Have a great rest of your evening. Take care.